Imagine carrying a hot piece of coal in your hand to feed someone else's warmth. Your skin is being roasted, and it causes an unbearable pain that grows more and more with every step for many. This is the truth. Their kindness has become a burden, a source of pain instead of joy. Stoicism, in a world that often demands self-sacrifice for others, it emerges as a beacon of balance to us that it does not require self-destruction. On the contrary, it teaches that it blooms from a place of personal strength and well-being. Join me as we discover the ancient wisdom of Stoicism, which we have learned to give not so much, but in abundance. Let's discover together how to keep the fire in us and how to share its warmth with the world. It is that every act of kindness is a choice, not an obligation, and self-care. It is the way of the Stoics that true generosity is the basis of the same hot coal. Imagine being held safely with protective tools without harming yourself, as you can offer your warmth. You can share your light. This is what Stoicism offers. Your own inner fire is a strong way to light up the world with your kindness, while making it burn in the way. So if you are ready to turn your kindness from a source of fatigue into a source of strength, the Stoics, under the guidance of his wisdom, we can begin this journey of discovery. 1. To constantly saying yes when you want to say no. Constantly saying yes is a mirror to the sky of the water, where you are standing on the edge of a calm lake. Imagine holding in your hands. Yes, you are holding written stones, each of them a deal that you made. A promise represents a commitment that you threw into the lake with each stone. The waves grow wider, disturbing the calm and acceptance. It reflects how it affects your inner peace of mind when you want to say no. Yes, that's the essence of saying this little word with the weight of mountains. Your destiny it can shape. When you say yes out of necessity, it will be as if you have added one more stone to your saddlebag of life weight. You feel it pulling you down to drift. The feeling that forms in your chest when you accept something that you don't want to do. It's the weight. It's not the labor of love. It's the fatigue that seeps into your bones from the toil of the task. It's the constant make a choice agreement takes away your right to live life according to your own terms. It only takes you physically. It wears down, not only emotionally and spiritually, but also a shadow of yourself. You become a joy, and you act without presence. For example, at work, everything. It could even be you who submits to every job that is put on the runner, or one of your family trying to keep up with everyone's needs, who sacrifices himself for every expectation. Imagine that person who says yes to everything. He is the one that everyone resorts to exploit even that person who constantly gives to the person, but never gets enough of the person who is tired, even if he is sick, even if he is offended, even if he is that person who runs to help himself. He feels exhausted. His life has been consumed by the demands of others. Because his story is wrong, a proof of the price of kindness shown to the ground, even the purest intentions, he reminds that he needs the guidance of wisdom. And this is where the Stoic principle of boundaries comes into play. Imagine a gentle fence around a reserve of running water for everyone and every situation. It does not exclude the world, but it protects the precious things inside of you. Learning to say no in a gentle but determined way is to build this fence at first. It may sound foreign or even a little selfish, but it's still the key to sustainable support for others. Stoicism is empty to us. It teaches that you can't fill water from a glass. It makes sense by protecting your resources in some way. You have also preserved your ability to give every time you say no to something that consumes you, your own well-being, and eventually to a greater capacity for future acts of true generosity. You would have said yes. So be brave, start small. If saying no gives a certain dose of rots, embrace this discomfort too. Practice voluntary discomfort that others. This is a Stoic way of saying no to your own wishes, Before your wishes being comfortable in the face of practical inconveniences, your will, against the easy way of obedience empowerment practice, every request that does not match these values or goals of yours. Rejection means that instead of resentment, discomfort instead of stagnation, the voluntary discomfort associated with choosing to grow up is short of saying no, politely embracing your temporary restlessness for your long-term well-being. It will allow you to refuse. This protects your time, allows you to focus on your health, passions, and growth. It is a momentary discomfort. It is a Stoic way, a way that leads not to the depletion of your soul, but to enrichment. That good is a step towards a more original and satisfying life. That every good is a step towards a more original and satisfying life. It is a journey of careful choices in which there is a step taken correctly. Oh, a little charity can make you feel like a burden has been lifted off you. And in doing so, you are not only saving yourself from burnout at the same time, know that you are ensuring that your future gifts are presented with light and warmth of true kindness. Not to set limits. In the vast fabric of life, each of us is a thread intertwined with countless people. We are a thread intertwined with people, and every interaction is the fabric of our existence. It has the potential to strengthen or wear down. Not to set limits of the yarn, it is similar to leaving loose and unattached when every passerby pulls you and breaks until you get to the threshold. Germs allows this sign is a silent thief. It steals your time, your energy, and ultimately your essence, stealing yourself in a vacuum to feel that you are just a tool for the desires of others. To be the end of your own dreams and aspirations causes unknown demands to be drowned out by a cacophony of borders. Absence is a constant buzzing in the back of your mind. All the tasks you undertake, the favors you can't refuse, and the jobs you shoulder, it reminds you that it is fatigue that greets you in the morning and restlessness that bothers you at night, that your life is lived according to someone else's script. And the role you play, it is the realization that it seems foreign and incompatible to you to help others. The pleasure of giving is lost in the relentless wave of extreme devotion and makes you a leaves to drift in a sea of obligations. Stoics, our most valuable resource is not material wealth. They have realized that our time is limited, irreplaceable. What we choose to spend directly affects our well-being. Saying yes to everyone indirectly relaxing to yourself, as means no to your growth and passions. Seneca morality. People call out in their letters like this: people are so stupid that they are smaller than anyone when they received something that can be replaced with worthless. He allows them to be put in the order of debtors and is grateful even if it is the only thing that cannot be repaid. That is, the person who takes time. No self-stoicism that does not consider itself indebted in such a way offers a way forward for your time. Think of it as a desert, and imagine a sieve placed on this desert. Pass every request through the sieve before scattering the precious grains. The problem is that this demand is really compatible with who I am and what I value. Does it leave room for my own needs? It's not through selfishness, it's about sustainability. Stoics are human with their deep understanding of the nature. They have defended the principle of oikeiosis, which is the concept of appropriate actions and loves. This self-care and caring for others is not mutually exclusive. On the contrary, it is the understanding that the same coin is two-faced. Take a practical approach to embody this Stoic principle somewhere between family or relatives, or for another task at your workplace. December. Imagine that you are being asked to volunteer, instead of giving an automatic yes answer. He pauses, thinks about oikeiosis, and are you reviewing existing commitments to propose a compromise? Or you decide to offer an alternative offer that will not compromise your well-being. This is a balanced act of kindness, is not to reject others, It is to embrace your own worth, that generosity is only. It is a step towards a life in which it is a gift not only to others, but also to yourself. This is the Stoic way. The goal is balance, and it is the path that leads to a life of deep satisfaction, to say no or make a request when your boundaries are violated. It may seem strange at first to change it to fit your boundaries, but this kindness to yourself and therefore to others is a living, heartfelt. It is a much greater gift to the world than a depleted, resentful shell. Protect your desert. Keep the spark. Use your time and energy consciously, and true generosity will help your capacity to bloom. Be a witness. 3. Neglecting your own personal care. Imagine two gardeners, one of their own while meticulously taking care of his garden. The other neglected his own garden in a hurry to help others. He is a diligent gardener who practices balanced self-care. Developing the garden produces personal joy, and even surpluses that they will share with others. They have a full space, while the gardener who always gives is a withered, inefficient. They own the plot, and are so focused on helping others that they forget about themselves and damage the gardens. He sees every selfless act of giving, stretching out on your shoulders and into the world. Your essence is like a leaf that offers parts, but for the leaves to bloom, the roots it needs to be nurtured. Self-care is not selfish. It rains around the base. The rain is equivalent to the sunlight that warms your top. Stoicism is missing in us. It constantly reminds us that we cannot offer the things that are our own to the needs of others. A subtle exhaustion begins when you prioritize your needs more. Your tree of life's branches become bare. Your shadow expands less. Replacing the joy of giving, he takes on a task mixed with an unspoken resentment. This is the warning rustle of leaves, about to fall, the whisper in. You says, I can't offer more now. Tea from a fancy teapot. Imagine that you fill every serving with a gift that warms someone's hands, maybe their soul. But the teapot, what happens when there's nothing left in it? When it's empty, you can't give what you don't have an empty teapot. You become no longer a source of comfort, but your own exhaustion. You become the symbol of the Stoics, who have always been the defenders of balance and wisdom. They gave up the principle of self-improvement to take care of themselves to others. The idea that caring is the cornerstone of caring for others is that neglecting personal well-being does not serve. They have understood that it weakens our ability to adopt this principle. That self-care is the deepest form of self-respect. It means accepting that there is, but only when you take care of yourself. It's about accepting that you can offer the best care to others. Stoicism teaches us a vital lesson. Self-care is the act of refilling your teapot. Whether you want a relaxing solitude, whether it's a nutritious meal, a creative endeavor, or just deep breaths in. Silence, get back to yourself, you will return. It is not an indulgence, it is a strong act of sustainability. A renewed inner well is your own light. It allows you to give wholeheartedly without compromising. So feed your roots, honor your needs, and be true. Discover that generosity is born of abundance, not scarcity. 4. Taking on the responsibilities of others. In the garden of life, each of us is both a gardener and a flower. We take care of others. We feed them with our time and attention. But while doing this, we must be careful not to overshadow their own growth skills to take on the responsibilities of others. Our interest is similar to watering someone else's plant while neglecting our own plant. It may bloom for a while under it, but if it doesn't learn to sustain itself, it will fade when we leave excessive assistance. This is a sign of it is subtle. It manifests itself with a feeling of fatigue, a feeling that other people's burdens have become our own. This paradoxical, it is a noble intention that can lead to the strangulation of both our and their development. When we shoulder the weight of others' tasks, we may feel a sense of importance, a belief that we are indispensable. But this is a double-edged sword, because we consider ourselves and become so necessary for someone else's journey while we are bringing them. We may inadvertently take away their chance of walking on their own. This commitment, it is an evil disguised as, and leaves us exhausted, and them dependent. The cost of this is twofold. We lose sight of our own path, and they lose sight of their own. They lose the opportunity to learn something from their struggles and victories. Imagine a butterfly struggling to get out of its cocoon. Its wings are wet and wrinkled, and this process looks challenging. Well, an intention may encourage you to intervene, tear open the trump card, and set the beautiful creature free. But this goodness will take away the basic struggle of the butterfly, because the wings of the butterfly are the strength needed to fly wins in the struggle without realizing it. When you constantly step in to solve other people's problems, you steal their opportunities to learn, adapt, and develop resilience. Addiction replaces independence every rescue you receive. You send a silent message, "I don't believe you can handle it on your own." Stoicism. It offers a different approach to help, one based on strengthening the roots approach. Imagine yourself not as a savior, but as a supportive guide standing next to them. Ask questions that will encourage them to solve their own problems instead of giving, knowing that you rely on their ability to get themselves back together instead of fixing it. Provide a safe space for them to stumble. The Stoics uphold the principle of sympathy, that everything is connected to each other, and each individual has a greater. They have taught the importance of their role in the whole to make others realize their potential. They believed in empowerment, on the contrary, that real support does not overshadow. They have understood that it illuminates the path that others will walk. It is necessary to take a step back for the people in your life to face challenges, learn, grow, and it means allowing them to contribute to the team on their own. It's a sobriety, and it means allowing others to. It is the practice of believing in their abilities, not only to support their development at the same time, it also frees you to pursue your own development. The essence of sympathy is that we increase the harmony of the whole by empowering others, and we do this accepting that we have found our own peace and purpose. While doing this does not mean completely withholding this help from the truth. Support is a delicate balance. Tools offer resources and perhaps examples from your own experience. Small, celebrate their victories and remind them of their natural strength. This is a right from doing it for them to believing in them. Change is empowerment is a much bigger solution than any temporary solution. It is a gift that you will witness their transformation along with every challenge they have overcome. Their wings get stronger and stronger. They may not always choose the smoothest path, but their own, the lessons they learn through their efforts, will pave the way for a more durable and fulfilling future. 5. Feeling sorry for toxic people. With the individuals whose existence consumes the color of our world on the journey of life, we often cross paths with toxic people to endure. With a feeling of pity is like holding on to a thorn, hoping that it will turn into a rose. This is a noble but misguided, it is compassion, and can cloud our reasoning and impair our mental health. This unwarranted tolerance makes us feel trapped in a cycle of negativity. Why can it be that here our own well-being is sacrificed in the hope of changing someone else? It is a heavy burden that becomes too big to be carried over time. Empathy is a cloak. This business sign of enduring toxicity for the sake of compassion is a constant restlessness appears as a shadow that looms over even the brightest moments when you interact with them. A feeling of relief when the tension in your shoulders goes away. And this relief is followed by Eden is a feeling of guilt, the depletion of emotional reserves. Your energy is a It is the feeling that you are pouring into the void, that you hope to fill it, but you find it bottomless. The price is heavy. Your peace of mind, it takes away your joy and your freedom to thrive in a nurturing environment. Stoicism tells us that compassion should be balanced with wisdom. Instead of being a virtue, reminds you that you can't light a fire for someone who doesn't want to collect kindling. Real change is personal, and your emotional well-being will be sacrificed for the sake of another person's potential transformation. It's nothing. Let's imagine that you're proud to be a good person all the time. You are listening to an acquaintance who is intertwined with drama and negativity and supporting him all despite your efforts. The behavior of the person you know does not change, and you yourself are emotionally exhausted by your own. You also find your life in a chaos that you are trying to calm down this kind of scenario. Support. It is a powerful reminder that we cannot walk the path of healing for someone else, even if we can offer the guise of pity. Tolerating destructive behavior, it begins to erode your own inner peace of mind, that you can't win. It is a war of negativity, manipulation, and refusal to take responsibility. That you breathe pollutes the air your soul, which is naturally inclined to generosity, shrinks pity, and it risks turning into self-defense, into a deep understanding of human nature. The Stoics who have amor fati, that is, they feel about one's fate. The Stoics emphasize the principle of love. In addition to embracing the experiences of life, they also believed in the wisdom of discerning what we can change. And for you, these people you know, their actions accept that you can't control. You can only control your reaction to them. It should mean to get rid of the need to correct others, and instead drink your own. Focusing on improving your garden is relevant to those who consume your soul. To apply this Stoic principle to our lives, imagine setting clear boundaries, not by hardening your heart, but by protecting your space with kindness and determination. It is related that, on their turbulent journey, without a passenger on their journey to them, it is the realization that you can wish well. This is the essence of amor fati. We found the courage to leave with love, trusting that a person should face his own battle. And in doing so, it is the place where we free ourselves to live a life that is compatible with our values and well-being. Remember that compassion does not mean unlimited dedication to endure emotional abuse, or it does not mean allowing someone to constantly undermine their well-being. Stoicism is the practice of distinguishing us. It encourages a person to do storm clouds without pulling their own sky. You can accept their struggles, set strict boundaries, even sometimes walk away. It is the bravest act of self-protection that opens up space for healing. Precious help you channel your energy into healthier relationships or your own development. It allows you to nurture. True compassion extends to yourself as well. And this is sometimes the greatest. It means accepting that goodness is to prioritize your own inner peace. 6. Maintaining relationships that hurt you. Loyalty is like the strongest steel, a one that can be both noble and unyielding. It is a virtue, but loyalty is a shield when it binds us to unhealthy relationships. Rather, it turns into a chain. It is poison to stay out of necessity in relationships where abuse is continuous. It's like hoping to drink and eat. This corrodes the soul, invisible to the eye, but in the heart it is a silent martyrdom that leaves deeply felt wounds. This unwarranted loyalty to make a person feel like a ghost in his own life, exactly in the present moment, instead of living in the corridors of what once was or could be. It can cause him to wander. This sign of enduring toxicity due to necessity is the soul. It is a heavy cloak that moisturizes the silent surrender in your voice. Your inner light goes out, and the slow withdrawal of your true self is a constant compromise of your happiness in the name of a loyalty that has lost its way. It is your giving and suppressing your needs, the joy of making connections, the freedom of expression, respect, and it takes away the right to a life full of love that should be honored despite the pain caused by old ties. Imagine being in a relationship that breaks down by believing that you are staying with this person. Your encounter makes you feel exhausted, criticized, and undervalued. Yet you continue to stay, thinking that loyalty requires it, thinking that you are doing him a favor. This is a story that many people can understand, that the bonds that unite can also narrow at the same time. It reminds us that loyalty is an admirable trait, but Stoicism tells us that this reminds that it should be guided wisely. Loyalty to emotional pain, or the one that pierces your own soul when it becomes synonymous with enduring abuse, it turns into a weapon. You tell yourself that it's for the best. Family, love, or friendship requires it. But deep down, somewhere you know that this is not sustainable. Stoicism tells us that true freedom is external. It teaches that it is not about circumstances, but about our internal choices. Even if you are bound by ties of loyalty, choosing to adhere to toxicity is a gradual erosion of this inner freedom. Rather than reducing it, it is a denial of your right to thrive in glorifying environments. But the Stoics offer us a different perspective. Preferential, they teach the principle of indifference, the idea that when some things are preferred, they should disturb the peace of our inner fortress. Although these relationships are valuable to you, they should not be at the expense of personal well-being. It should mean accepting that true loyalty to others begins with loyalty to yourself. It's about understanding that it will honor the respect you have for yourself to put this Stoic principle into practice. Consider setting boundaries. This is to have a frank conversation. Take a step back, or it may mean walking away in situations. This is an act of self-preservation, not an act of betrayal, staying on the paths that lead to this downsizing and turmoil for you and everyone else facing a similar situation. It is about choosing paths that lead to growth and peace. Instead of this Stoic way, wisdom, courage, and to the wrong place. This is the way to pursue a well-lived life, freed from the chains of established obligations. It's not about giving up on your loved ones. Stoicism is healthy boundaries. Even in the most complex relationships, advocates for scratching limit this contact to have difficult conversations or excessive. It can mean walking away from situations. This is about prioritizing your own mental health. A challenge, real loyalty as an act, not as a deep self-respect, promotes growth. This kind of loyalty requires both sides to show the same respect. 7. Neglecting your own dreams to support others. In the great theater of life, each of us has dreams unique to our character, and we have a scenario full of aspirations, but we have our own to support others. When we neglect our dreams, it's as if he delivers our script lines. It's like we're letting someone else write and direct. Our scenes. Self-neglect is a subtle form of self-betrayal that appears as a whisper or something that gets louder over time. It's a way of saying that your dreams that you put on the shelf for others are dusted off, and the roles you play make you tea. You should notice that this sign is in the background of someone else's story. Life means living, and it wears you out. A life that never quite fits the costume, and a role that never really resonates. Leaves this self waiting the feeling of receiving. A bird with clipped wings in a cage. It's like watching his longing for the sky. He sees through the bars. The longing pain you feel when you witness others pursuing their passions is like watching your heart decelerate. Whining, silent jealousy reminds you of your dreams that you have postponed, to the gradual erosion of your potential. Stopping by once made you want to pursue what you really want. It is the extinguishing of the spark that you love painting so much, and dream of a future for it. Imagine believing that your dreams can wait, with someone your family has chosen. You're getting married, doing the things they want because you're older, or studying at school. Days turn into years, and the canvases remain empty. You dream of, but never. Your heart aches for every brushstroke that you can't paint this story, even while helping others build their dreams. It is a touching reminder of the importance of nurturing our own dreams. Decrepit twos begin to fade. Dreams begin to fade. Resentment takes root, not for those you helped, but for the opportunities that are slipping between your fingers. For towards yourself, you were once full of passion and purpose. The passion in you that starts to question its own value, begins to regret not going. It casts a long shadow as a sharp reminder of the way Stoics are personal with their deep understanding of activism. They have taught the principle of prohairesis. It is virtuous to support others with the idea that our will is the only real being over which we have complete control. Even though it was an act, they believed that it should never be at the expense of our own will. For you, prohairesis, to devote time to the art of adoption as well as commitments to others. It means making a conscious choice to honor your dreams, as well to apply this Stoic wisdom to your personal projects every week, regardless of the demands of others. A special imagine taking time out. Don't go after these dreams on your own. It's about defending your right to write your script for you, and for everyone who recognizes this sign in your life. This is your own life. Stepping into the spotlight is about finding the courage to live an original and purposeful life. That on the contrary, the Stoic way of supporting others and pursuing our own dreams are not mutually exclusive. It is a journey of balance, in which it is harmoniously intertwined. Never forget that your dreams are not selfish. They are an important part of the legacy you leave to the world, part of a living satisfied. You are an even greater one for those around you. You become a source of inspiration and support. A journey through the tapestry of life while interacting. We weave threads of kindness and support, yet our days, in its complex design, it is very important to remember that the strength of the weaving depends on the integrity of each thread. In order to be able to give something to others, we must first become whole. Creating healthy boundaries is not an obstacle. It is a gateway to sustainable giving that allows us to offer the best of ourselves without consuming our essence generosity self. When we balance it with care, we not only survive, but also thrive. And those around me also. Let's carry the wisdom of balance with us. As we close this chapter that develops wisdom is imperative. Let it be a beacon that guides us through the fog and storms of self-neglect, that we should always be artists in the art of helping others, as well as in our own well-being. Decrees, let's remember if this message has evoked an echo in you, it activates something deep in your heart. If he has, I invite you to join us as a subscriber with your support. It is the enthusiasm itself that fuels our journey together, and I offer you a heartfelt thank you for this together. Let's continue to inspire, grow, and find the beautiful balance that life wants from us. Let me know that you are here. Thank you for listening and being a part of this journey. Feel good until next time. Look and remember, the deepest support we can offer is with the love we give ourselves. It starts